Certainly. Please provide the text you'd like me to revise. Story 1. When you're at your most vulnerable and lowest point, they don't look down or pity you, but are there to support you. I had this once. Story 2. When they notice something you like and surprise you with it. My ex-partner was a vegetarian. I am not, but I always talked about making lobster truffle mac and cheese. I came home from work one day to find a full lobster, truffle oil, and 3 different types of cheese. I'm not going to make it because it's gross, but have at it. Story 3. They put their phone down and listen. They want to join you and experience your hobbies and likes at least once. They want to make you smile. Story 4. Time and how they treat you with things unrelated to sex. It's also a good sign when they do something for you that takes significant effort and sacrifice. A year into my relationship, my girlfriend had injuries from a fall and was limited in what she could do for a couple of months. I helped her with dressing and washing, did all the cooking and chores, and drove her to work and doctor appointments, as well as drove her child to various places, all while working full-time. After that, she said she could not doubt my commitment to her. Story 5. They're gentle with you, and that's how I feel loved. If they can sleep and cuddle with you as well without having sex. Story 6. I had been with my partner for 3 months when my grandmother died. She was the absolute light of my life. I called him when I found out. He came out of the shower and hugged me. Even though I couldn't speak and was in tears, he just knew. He drove around 1.5 hours to get me my favorite comfort food that day. He held me on the couch for a week while I lay in my depression. He just comforted me. He didn't push me at all. And then, he carried her coffin and helped lay her to rest. She absolutely loved him during the short time he knew her. Whenever we left, she would tell her caregivers about the handsome man who had been over, joking that if only she'd been 30 years younger. She had many dementia-like symptoms and didn't remember who he was or that he was my partner. I know she would have been delighted to have a handsome man on her arm, in a way, for her final moments. He showed me more love than anyone ever had so quickly. I knew he was the one. We are getting married now and have just celebrated our son's first birthday. What he remembers from this is that when he came out of the shower and gave me a hug, his towel fell down, and he was just a wet and naked man hugging his girlfriend mourning the loss of her grandmother. He told me about this months later, and now it's my main memory from the day and has changed one of the worst moments of my life into something we laugh about now. That's another thing that shows you they love you. They can make you laugh when you are in the dark. Story 7. My now wife, who was then my girlfriend of maybe 3 months, answered my call after she stormed out angry at me for drinking. I told her I'd gotten into an accident and was going to jail. She picked me up at 7 a.m. the next morning when the jail opened, paid my bond, paid my lawyer, and drove me to and from work when she could. She even let me drive her car when my license was suspended, which shows how much she trusted and believed in me, even when I didn't deserve it. I'll have 1 year sober next month. The accident happened over 2 years ago, and all my legal punishment ended in January of this year. We bought our first house in February and had our first child in June. Sorry if this is more information than you wanted, but that's our story. 2 people who accept each other as they are and stick together no matter what. We're the ultimate tag team. Story 8. Loving someone is fate, but choosing to stay is love. So if someone stays in whatever the circumstances, that's love. If someone sacrifices without exception and chooses a storm over sunshine, that's love. Love doesn't take advantage. It encourages us to grow. The problem must be we, not I. Forgiveness is the key, aside from communication. Story 9. It's not just time, but time and commitment is a good start. After more than a few years, I'm still totally in love with my wife. Despite multiple surgeries, a child, and several rejections, I still buy her lingerie to wear. Luckily, she still wears it and is still passionate herself. Being best friends and compatible introverts is most of it for us. Story 10. They genuinely smile and kiss you as soon as they open their eyes. They lie awake in bed watching you get ready, amazed by your every move. They are always present, and you don't need to ask them to pay attention. These are just some experiences I've been lucky to have. Most importantly, They made me feel seen and understood in a way that can't be explained, only felt. They want to do anything with you without asking, even mundane tasks like getting a garbage can. I've only experienced this once, but at 27, it was obvious that man loved me wholeheartedly, without any doubts. My mom also told me that if someone is really into you, you almost have to beat them off you, not literally, of course. It reminded me of how he would come outside to help me carry things without being asked and always walk me to my car, regardless of the time, just to spend those last moments together. Their face would light up with a huge smile as soon as they saw me, pure excitement and joy in seeing each other. That's how you know. And they always needed to have some part of them touching you when they fell asleep because of their touch love language. Maybe they have a different love language too. This was my personal experience and it was beautiful. I hope everyone gets to feel that. Story 11. I think if they feel the same way towards you, maybe it is, but that's hard too. A lot of people pretend to get what they want from the other person. Story 12. They genuinely care about you even when you reach a point where you have nothing to give. This isn't an excuse to depend on anyone, but there are times when life happens and nothing is going right. Not everybody stays with you when it happens. You can definitely tell when someone loves you so much when they decide to stick it out with you and push you to get your life together. That's rare. Story 13. How do they treat you after that postcoital clarity, or when they aren't actively interested? Here is my experience of two polar opposites. My college girlfriend wanted nothing but her own sexual satisfaction, not caring about mine. When she wasn't in that mindset, she was deeply insecure and needed constant emotional and intellectual validation at the cost of everything else. Simply put, she put in no effort and expected a constant 100% from me. She had big breasts though, so I dealt with it. My next girlfriend and now wife very plainly desires me, but she puts effort into making sure I get my turn and never leaves me without. She has only lashed out in cases of severe trauma that we have worked through together. She only criticizes me in private and sings my praises in public. She puts effort into ensuring we remain harmonious as we go through life, whether it involves parenting, finances, the imperfections in our sex life, or any of life's hurdles in general. Also, her breasts are bigger. Story 14. They calm your nervous system down, I feel. Nothing shouts love like being in the presence of someone who has taken efforts to pay attention to you as a whole and create a safe space for you. Story 15. They do things to better your life or make it easier for no reason. When they are out, they get things for you because they are thinking about you. They talk about the good things about you to their friends, not just complain. Story 16. When they spend their hard-earned money on you and stand by you during your weakest and darkest moments, it is very rare. Story 17. They are perfectly aware of your bad side, but they accept it, even if they don't like it. This does not mean there are no conversations on how to address these issues, but for this to happen in a healthy manner, there must be acceptance first. Story 18. True love goes beyond the initial spark. Look for consistent effort, active listening, emotional support, respect for boundaries, unconditional acceptance, mutual growth, shared future plans, vulnerability, selflessness, and everyday gestures of kindness. Story 19. Calling when you are sick. Not just calling, but also bringing food and things and holding hands at the sickbed. Story 20. Well, we're currently going through a problem. She's not putting in the same effort, but I have tried to end every tense conversation on a positive note. She still receives good morning and good night texts because, despite the issue, I don't want her to forget that I still care. Story 21. The glow in her eyes when we see each other, the way she changes when she's around me, the body contact. Like when we go out somewhere, she'll just lean into me for no reason and give me a peck on the cheek or hold my hand. Story 22. I got cancer and lost my hair. I was ugly, bloated, and grumpy as hell. He told me I was still beautiful even though I was bald, and he spent lots of time with our child, who was 3 years old then, to allow me to sleep. That's just one example. He still brings me coffee in the morning. I just adore him. Story 23. Staying not just when things are good, but when things are beyond bad. She found me when I wasn't looking for love and destroyed me when I needed her most. Story 24. When they truly want the best for you, even if it doesn't help them or is inconvenient. Selflessness. Story 25. It's the small things. Anyone can give big gifts. Anyone can go to a jeweler and buy a $1,000 necklace. But only someone who loves you will buy you some tea while shopping, wear that perfume you like, wear that dress you love, or call you that special name you enjoy. My girlfriend does all this. She remembers the small things that mean a lot to me, and she does it simply because she loves me. Just this morning, she said, "I hope you have a great day at work, and I hope the revolving door is enjoyable for you." I told her a while ago that I like the revolving door at my work, and it's a fun way to start my day. Story 26. They will tell you the truth even if it sounds bad in the moment, instead of telling you a lie that sounds nice. Story 27. I think finding your partner beautiful no matter what they look like proves that it isn't all about looks, but also has to do with their personality and soul in some way. Personally, the woman I have a huge crush on at the moment is so pretty no matter what. If she has just woken up and is completely messy, if she's had minimal sleep multiple days in a row and is incredibly tired, if she's sweaty and dirty, if she's wearing pajamas, shorts, or a dress, no matter what, I just can't help finding her incredibly beautiful. Story 28. They stay when things get hard and issues arise. They stay when it isn't advantageous to stay. Until you get to a point like that, it's honestly hard to tell. Story 29. In all honesty, I think love comes with time and loyalty. Whether it works out in the long run is a different story, but consistent loyalty is love. It's usually only complicated or hard to know if there is a narcissist involved. Always trust your gut. Always. Story 30. General intimacy and friendship not related to sexual fulfillment. Walks, sitting down to watch random content, and showing interest in the well-being of your friends and family. Story 31. Reject them sexually. If they still want to cuddle after being rejected and don't make any further advances sexually, then they most likely love you. Story 32. If she thinks with you, listens to your stories, and supports you, no matter how unwell or well-off you are. Story 33. When they appreciate something in me that I find unattractive, they tend to know and remember the things I like that most people don't. They feel my pain sometimes more than I do and cry for missing me for too long. They smile more in my presence, and they're happy when I'm happy, and it works both ways. They miss my food and my silly jokes, sometimes even repeating them back to me. We think about doing the same things, even if one of us doesn't generally like them. Intimacy happens, and it doesn't change our feelings. Arguments occur, and we end up in each other's arms, sincerely apologizing. It's clear we find happiness through each other, and missing it takes a part of the world with it. Yes, I have some notion of how to express this. Story 34. It's the little things. Those small things add up like 100 tiny LED bulbs. You just have to be paying attention. Forget the gifts and grand gestures. Look at the little things and you'll know. The same goes for yourself, by the way. You can tell if you are in love versus lust using similar metrics. Are you interested in giving them the world? Probably lust. Do you want to get them a glass of water? Possibly love. Story 35. Recently, I heard that if your partner shares a streaming account or password with you, it signifies love. In addition, if your partner is able to spend time with you even when they are busy, it is a good sign. Story 36. They want to spend time with you and support you emotionally through difficult times, both big and small. They prioritize your happiness over minor inconveniences and sometimes more significant hardships. They want what's best for you. Story 37. They are sincerely interested in you and ask about your day. They make time for you no matter what. You feel like a priority. They anticipate your needs and try to fulfill them. They are protective of you. They want to hold your hand in public. They claim you and make you feel chosen. Story 38. When they give us peace of mind, when we come home from a long day, we just know that you being home will automatically make it better. We look forward to coming home because it will always be amazing, no matter what happens. This is what motivates a married man to go through difficult times, because there is always a pleasure to look forward to when we're with you. Story 39. Have an argument with them. Yelling at you is disrespectful. If they yell at you about anything, then it was just lust. Find someone who respects you because love isn't enough. Story 40. They stick around and help you through your worst times. They continue to care for you and be there while you dig yourself out of it. Having to wait for you and still showing up throughout it is what I'd consider love. Story 41. When a man actually wants you, you'll always know it. Women sleep with whom they want and marry whom they can. Men sleep with whom they can and marry whom they want. Read again. Story 42. You will feel the difference. Someone who loves you would do anything for you. You could be doing something they absolutely hate, and they will be there enjoying it with you. Staying with you while you are at your lowest is also a good way to tell. Story 43. When you can see that they care about your mental and physical well-being, if they at least sometimes put you first. Story 44. When you feel understood and seen, it means someone who truly loves you puts in the effort to understand you, just as you would for them because they want to. By understand, I mean they are aware of your likes and dislikes. They understand your humor and emotions instead of trying to change you. They recognize you as an individual outside of their own experience to help you feel safe, allowing you to be vulnerable and consistently supported. Story 45. We truly understand a person by how they behave when they believe no one is watching and how they treat you when they have nothing to gain. Do they want to meet all the time or only when they have a need to fulfill? Do they engage in genuine conversation and exchange of ideas? Story 46. They do not upgrade when they have the chance and intentionally avoid upgrade-seeking behaviors, environments, situations, and activities. Story 47. Interests can fade and people are different, so intentions and loyalty depend on many things. There's no right answer. Story 48. Love is about responsibility, commitment, and respect. Everything else is more a part of infatuation. That isn't to say you can't remain infatuated with someone forever. I'm just saying, after 13 years of marriage, I've realized that people tend to focus on the flowery bits and not the true substantive parts of long-term relationships. Story 49. When they respect you, show it, and don't hesitate to help when the proverbial hits the fan. When they're not afraid to introduce you to friends and family. Story 50. I wouldn't know about either. My wife is so unaffectionate and cold that I don't even know what those feelings are anymore. Story 51. Where you can be around each other, spend time with one another, and do things together that are not sexual but still enjoy your time. You can still be flirtatious, seductive, playful, passionate, romantic, and sexy to maintain high levels of desire and attraction, but at least you're interacting by doing collaborative things like learning how to dance together. What? He doesn't want to bond over an activity. Find this out early before sex and dump them. Story 52. When the singularity arrives and you upload yourself into the machine, they still want to connect with you every day, even though sex is an impossibly distant memory, drowned beneath the endless sea of conjured abstractions and dreams that is now your shared reality. Story 53. Love hurts. If they look like they are in pain, it's love. If it's a woman, she will cry a lot secretly. If it's a man, he will be grim and seem like he has an ulcer. For both sexes, eating stops. If the other party is eating a lot, they are not in love. Story 54. They talk to you about things they have to think about deeply. They allow themselves to be vulnerable. They don't dislike you for being imperfect. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.